Hello, good evening, everybody. I welcome you once again into this all important discussion. By special God's grace, we are going to do justice to this topic titled Discretion. Well, it sounds so familiar, but I want us to look beyond familiarism. By way of definition, I think I will use a concise definition so that all of us will understand it very well. The word discretion simply means ability to discern what is right or wrong. Discretion is one of the attributes of a leader that enables him to do the right thing and make right choice of words. Yes, right choice of words and good decision. And is one of the attributes of leaders, like I said. Now, I want us to look beyond leaders, as in those who are in corridors of power, or those who are in religious positions. Of course, there are leaders, there are good examples of leaders. Your political leaders, your governors, presidents, senators, and the rest of them. Even your village head and all whatnot. But then, you should also look beyond those things I've called out. In your family, you are a leader. Your little office, you are a leader. Your colleagues you work with, even in the market, there is nowhere you will go that you eliminate that word leadership. But one thing is very common. That discretion is the only thing that will help you to do the right thing. Yes. So sometimes we get confused when we talk about leaders and we shift it to those in corridors of power. Of course, your family is the strongest arm of leadership, the strongest arm of the society. So if you get it wrong in your society, definitely it will affect if you get it wrong in your family, then it will affect the society. And that is what we are suffering today. Now, let me not digress. We're talking about discretion, which is your ability or an attribute of a leader to make the right choice or do the right thing. It is evident that your decision is what drives your action. Any action you perform today in this planet Earth is as a result of decision. It's as a result of your plans. And we're saying that discretion is your ability to make the right choice. Or the right choice. There are some things when you talk, you end up creating problems. Your action can bring peace, or it can cause violence. That is why you need to have that spirit of discretion. You discreet, you choose the right thing. For instance, what happened in the life of Joseph as he was in Egypt? He was in prison. And when Pharaoh had a dream that disturbed him, they called the young man and he explained the dream. He interpreted the dream and he proffered solution. Though he was a slave, if you may, he was just coming from a prison, but he still had that decision in him. He had that the spirit, that attribute that distinguished him. He was discreet and wise, and he made mention of those things as part and parcel of what they need in order to survive the 7 years that will come inevitably. And they chose him. No, when he was telling them that they need somebody that is discreet and wise to handle this, he never knew he was talking to himself. Yes, there are some things when you are doing, you may not know what you are doing. Had it been he withdrew that statement, or maybe he was painting it in order to favor him, of course it wouldn't have been so. But because he had this thing as inbuilt, it's not something you just do just like that. Because it has been part of him, he was discreet. Whether it is going to favor him or not, he doesn't think that way. But because after explaining to them, and the authorities of Egypt, they have seen that there is no other person that can do it except this man, they placed him at the high pedestal of power. You don't speak right because it's going to favor you. You speak what is right. You make the right choice because it is the thing what you should, not because it's going to favor you. Unfortunately, in this era, in this generation, we are more concerned about ourselves. We don't think about the welfare of others. We only talk about how it will favor us. And that is why we are facing this problem. That is why nothing is working in the country. Nothing is working even in our own families. Nothing is working in the system. The system is collapsing on a daily basis simply because we have refused to be discreet. That's all right. So it is most expedient for a leader to be discreet, so that he or she will take right decision. Right decision making pays. Not under pressure, under undue influence. Being discreet is very important because it helps a leader to withstand pressure. Some of these things we experience in this country is as a result of pressure. In the political arena, we see people taking decision not because they initially planned to take such decision, but because they are operating under pressure. And the result of that decision becomes disastrous. It becomes catastrophic. The major problem we are facing today is because we allowed ourselves to be carried away. Of course, some of our leaders sold their souls to the devil just because of selfish gain. You know, in the book of Isaiah chapter 28 verse 15, it explains how many of our leaders, or most of our leaders, have covenanted their souls to the devil. Their hearts have been sold to the devil, and they have established their thrones with their seats. When you acquire any position, or when you as a leader live a deceitful lifestyle, it will affect the people, it will affect your subject. When in your family, you as a father or a mother, you live your life on deceit, it will affect the children. And once the children is affected, the entire society is in trouble. When your family is bad, it will definitely go out in society. Matthew chapter 23 verse 14 explains how people, in the name of leadership, use their position to defraud people and take their belongings, and still pretend to be helping them. What is the position of the church today in this discretion we're talking about? What are the leaders of the church doing? You as a believer, what is your own contribution? How are you affecting the lives of others? Or are you still thinking that since others are doing it, let me join? You don't want to stand by what is right. You are carried away because of what others did. Even in Christian gathering, we defraud ourselves. Leadership of the church is also having this same problem. We only take decisions that can favor us at the expense of others. If they like, they can kill themselves. But we profess the same Christ. Think about it. Also in the book of Genesis chapter 41 verse 38, it is expected, it's telling us the need for us to be mirror who is the people who see Christ. If your life does not reflect Christ, if your life does not reflect God, there is a problem. The man Joseph, even though he was in prison, he was called upon. And when he met with Pharaoh, Pharaoh knew that this one is man of God. He knew that this one fears God. And he had no choice than honoring him with that position. He said, there is no other person so discreet and wise as this one. because he has already seen God in Joseph. My brother, my sister, can people look at you and boldly say that this one is truly a child of God? Can your brother or your friend in your office, in the business, your business associates, your colleagues in office, in your community, can people look at you and say this one is truly a child of God? If it is not so, then amend your way before it is too late. It should be a mirror through which people will see God. You know, sometimes we forget so fast that some people are looking at us. You will not know, but people are watching you. They are using you as a role model. And if you take a wrong step, you will end up misleading so many people. You have to be discreet. You have to be discreet. And what will make you to be discreet? You have to fear God. Ecclesiastes 12:13 say, this is the conclusion of the whole matter. And what is that conclusion? He says, fear God and keep his commandment, for this is the whole duty of man. Now we don't fear God because God is merciful, because he is slow to anger. But if we're talking about Amador, if we're talking of all those fetish idols, we are very much afraid of them. Ask those in occultic kingdom. Ask them how they are being treated if they disobey, or if they cannot even carry out the assignment given to them. But because we are children of God and God is merciful, we don't have time to fear God. We rather fear our fellow human being than fearing God. But the Bible says, fear God and keep his commandment, for this is the whole duty of man. That is your duty, to fear God. And the book of Proverbs 9:10, it says, the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of holy is understanding. We should learn to fear God. We should learn to fear God. In the book of Matthew chapter 5 and verse 10 to 16, God admonishes us to be light, that we should remain the light no matter our position or where we find ourselves. We are the light. The Bible says we are the light of the world. And that means when you as a light refuse to show the light, darkness will overtake you. Because it is not possible, according to the Bible, that when you light a candle, you put another in a bushel. Even as a Christian, if you don't show the light, the darkness will overpower. The darkness will overwhelm you. And it is not what the Bible says. It says the light shines in darkness, and the darkness comprehends it not. We should allow the light of God to shine in us. We should allow the light to keep shining. Do not be carried away by all these frivolities of life. Don't be carried away by what you see. Let the light of God shine in you. Learn to be discreet, for it pays to serve Jesus. There was a song we used to sing, that it pays to serve Jesus. Sometimes we look at earthly gain and we forget our focus. Because of money, because of fame, people have sold their hearts to the devil. People have traded their soul to the devil. And it is even affecting the church, where the truth should be coming out is where the truth is being concealed. Oh, come on. Let's change our lifestyle. Let's be discreet. But Lord, help us in Jesus' name.